notice, a 30-day or 2 weeks, they should be compensated for all vacation and comp time accrued. And then they used the date of separation, but then there was a thing about the sick time that was,
But the way with PTO being, with it being PTO now, Cody's got 2 weeks of PTO time, almost supposed to say, well, that portion was considered your sick time out of your PTO.
well, that's where this came into play.
Yeah, but I mean, if he requested that, you know,
Well, and more to that point too is like Lacey, Kurt, they stayed on partially. So I mean, they weren't done, so they got paid out their PTO because they were still technically working for us.
Mhm. So they understood their policy.
Yep. But, you know, it's just something I was thinking about, and I just, I bring it up. Thoughts or table it till another work session?
I deal with it more often than I care to with staff that cash in and bag it at the end. But in my world, if I don't use it, I lose it when I walk away. So the fact there's anything, you're talking to the wrong guy on that one. because
You don't get to keep any of yours?
I can use my sick time, which was a delicate trade this last contract. Do I want sick time or PTO time, and which is it? And I chose PTO because the needs would be different. But if I walk away, I lose it all. I get nothing. So,
So there was no percent? You just
no
picked one or the other?
percentage, and I left the district that I had 11 years. That would have been a nice percentage to get, but I got protected by the FMLA Act, which that was sick. That was different. So to your point, what stops them from 2 weeks, them calling in, the word I would use is the integrity. And that is up to every individual.
So, stuff like you guys just want to leave it the same?
yeah, my hard part is, how do I say, you know, a month ago, if he goes, I wanna take 2 weeks off, yep, okay, go ahead, you've got PTO time in your bank, you can take it off, you know. Now he goes, well, I wanna take the next 2 weeks off, and by the way, here's my resignation for 2 weeks. Well, how do I say no to, it's his PTO time, it's his time that he earned from working here. Why not just have him finish working, and get 2 more weeks of work out of him, and then pay him his 2 weeks? Either way, you're losing that 2 weeks. You're paying it out one way or the other, or whatever time you've got. Because they're just gonna adjust their date according to their PTO time, in my opinion.
True, so instead of 2 weeks, like, oh, I got 3 weeks of
Yeah.
PTO, so I'll be done in 3 weeks.
Right.
I mean, I do understand with the sick time, it converting over, you know, I do understand that, but
Do we know where other cities are at on this?
it's all different because some cities do PTO, some do vacation sick, and most of the time, I think when they do vacation sick, it is you get all the vacation, you get a percentage of the sick time. I wanna say that's what Staples was. So, I could do more research, see what other cities can do for that.
Well, and we can do research too, you know, that's, I wouldn't mind looking into it further too
Yeah, if you
myself.
guys wanna ask other cities too,
Bring it back next month.
or other places.
Yeah,
Okay, and I lied, there was one more thing about personnel policy that Jason requested, is call out pay. So Jason, if you wanna kind of talk about that.
Yeah, so in our, in the policy right now, the policy is that if we were to get called out for whatever reason, out of our regular scheduled hours, we get paid a minimum of 2 hours. So if Bruce gets called out because the lift station is stuck, takes him 20 minutes to get it fixed, and he heads back home, he gets 2 hours pay for having to leave home and go take care of that. If I get called out and it takes me 20 minutes, half hour, I get automatically 2 hours of pay. And I don't know about Bruce's side of it, how often it's just a few minutes or if it's longer periods of time, but a vast majority of the time, if I get called out on a call outside of regular hours, I'm out there for numerous hours. It's usually 4, 5, 6 hours. And then I'm getting called out at 10 o'clock at night, and I'm out till 2, 3 in the morning, come back to work at 8 o'clock the next morning, and all I'm getting is paid that regular wage for those hours that I was working in the middle of the night, called out again, and take that time off later on in the week. Because that's just my considered regular hours. So what I'm asking is that for call-out pay, we get paid overtime for those hours that we have to go out on a call-out if we're required to do that. So if I get called out at 10 o'clock at night for domestic and I'm out till 4 in the morning, I would get overtime pay for that to compensate me for leaving home in the middle of the night or whatever it is. Some of the call-outs are at 6 o'clock at night, sometimes most of them it's 10 o'clock, midnight, 2 in the morning. And you're dragging your butt out of bed, getting dressed and going to work for a number of hours. So that was my request, that we change that wording so that it's paid out as overtime hours. Get a minimum of 2 paid out as overtime.
So call-out pay is 2 hours, just in addition to your regular,
No.
so.
If you get called out, it's a minimum of 2 hours, whether it takes you half an hour or 2 hours, you get paid for 2 hours. If you go over 2 hours, you're just getting paid for whatever you're working for.
And that's for all departments.
Yes. Which really just affects Bruce and Jason.
Sometimes Brian,
Sometimes Brian, if Bruce is gone.
water main break or something, and
Or-
they're out in the middle of the night fixing that or something.
Yeah, I guess Brian does have a couple of them.
And they are counted as hours worked for calculating overtime.
Mm-hmm.
But I typically, if I get called out, I just try to take the time off. Later on.
Interrupting.
No,
Okay.
Good morning.
Okey-doke.
Yeah, we got 4 minutes before the regular meeting.
Right, okay.
So. You guys wanna discuss it more, and you wanna bring it to next month?
I feel like we need more time to discuss it. And just a quick,
Yep.
this is my first time, I guess I didn't see that you guys had call-out time. I knew you got compensated somehow, but I didn't know the difference or whether it was overtime or not.
So do you guys like doing this work session thing? Do you wanna do it again next month, 5:30?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I could bring up a world of things to chit chat about if you guys don't mind coming in. I'll put that one in next month and then, yeah. We can talk about city hall security next time too.
Did you say a work session also next month?
Yep, at 5:30. Because the idea is if you guys like these, that we do them every month before the council meeting.
If we have enough personnel policy, maybe we want to get the committee back together and review them.
And there's always updates. But, yeah, don't have anything else you want to discuss. If you want to adjourn the meeting, so that we
No, we will, hearing nothing else, we will adjourn the work session at 6:29 PM.
need a motion and second.
Motion, please, to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Motion made. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Pat, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Adjourned. Madam
Where's the bathroom at?